Hi, guys. Welcome to Soul Connections. I'm your host, Jo Labbé. We're here on Star Nations Radio Network, being broadcast through BeLive TV and Facebook. This is a wonderful spring day here in Massachusetts. It was not too hot, not too cold. It was kind of a Goldilocks kind of day. And it was great because that breath of fresh air and having sunshine out, I could almost feel people around taking a deep breath and kind of going, oh, phew, maybe now we can really step into the new energy. And even though spring's been hanging out for a little while and we're heading technically toward summer, we haven't had a good taste of spring, at least not here, not long enough for us to feel, secure in it. And I can always tell that by, have people planted their window boxes yet? And around here, the answer is still no. There's a few people who started in the last few days, but it's starting to feel like new energy. And as part of this show, what do you need to spring into your energy system? What do you need to plant, or what do you need to water to grow? And that's what we're here for you to have an opportunity to do some of your own self-care, to connect to your spiritual team and the divine. And when we do it here as a group, the energy is fuller and it's brighter, and you can feel the shifting happening for everybody who's tuned in. And that's true whether you are watching this live or whether you're watching this in the recording. That energy is being moved on the same vibration and frequency. So it's really exciting to be part of energy that's about to shift and change for you. And as part of that, you can help out by liking and sharing this broadcast, putting it out there either on your timeline or in a group that you know that would enjoy it, or maybe to a friend who could use a little TLC. But when we get the energy out there, we never know where it's going to end up, who's going to end up watching it. But I always feel like Spirit makes sure that anybody who needs it gets to see it. And maybe you can be part of that, part of the Star Nations community by helping sharing it and getting the word out there. Because I know that Neshi, our commander-in-chief, is already busy at it, sharing it in their groups and getting it out there and telling the peeps that we're here and we're live. So at the end, after we do the meditation for healing and clearing, I always pull divination cards. And this time, and I'm working on a new camera, guys, so you're going to have to give me a heads up. So this one is The Answer is Simple by Sonia Choquette. And I'm doing my best to kind of keep it out of I have a ring of light and it shows up a little bit. So I'm sorry for any reflection. But it's The Answer is Simple. And I love this deck because they really are. They're straightforward, generally a sentence, and it's pretty easy to see and sense and feel into what the card means for you. I will give you the channeled message that comes in for me around the card, but I may not know how it's going to be applied for you, and that's all for you. And if it doesn't resonate for you, maybe the message is for somebody else or for a situation that's about to come up tomorrow or in the next couple of days, because these cards usually hold the energy for the week, not just the evening, if that makes sense. So I'm happy to see that, we have some of our regulars in the house. I don't have but I don't get to see the comments as I'm doing this show because it pulls me out of the channel, but I can see your lovely faces off to the side when you make comments and when you click, any of the emojis. If you click like or love, I get to see your profile picture off to the side. So I know visually who's in the house this evening. And for those of you who are out here, in sort of New England area, on this Saturday, we're having this cute, sweet workshop that is all about magic. And Nancy Blyer, who's an artist of magical tools, is going to be here and show us how to make wands. And I think with all of the lovely energy that's out there, like, who couldn't use a little extra magic in their life? I am so excited for this. And her pieces are basically museum quality. So I'm excited to learn some of the tools of the trade. And maybe I'm feeling a manifestation wand in my near future. I would love to have a wand that helps remind my inner child how we can do that together. And that's, if you want to join us, you can always send a message to me, because we do have a few more spots. And it would be nice to have you come visit at Trinity Healing Sanctuary. So I would love to have that. I love seeing my peeps in person. So any opportunity that I have for that, it's great. And then, those of you who are out more in the Midwest area, or who are willing to travel to have a weekend with me with healing, I'll be at Star Nations Academy June 14th through the 16th. I am super excited for this, because when we do a weekend workshop, Spirit sort of gathers together the right people who want to do some work, want to really create some movement in their life. Maybe you've been feeling stuck. Maybe you've had an issue that, keeps coming up repeatedly, and you want to learn and express and let it go. And even sometimes at these workshops, we work on past life patterns that are still, moving through your energy system. And it's always a really cool time for us to kind of dive deep. And I channel the whole weekend. So it's always a hoot to see what my spiritual team has on tap. And basically, all I set for the intention is that everybody will get to have some in-depth healing and move something that they're really ready to let go of. And we'll even do some hands-on healing. So I'm really excited. And I get to see my puppy nephew, Georgie. I'm sure he's much bigger than I can, fathom at this point. But I still am looking forward to puppy snuggles, because, I have cats and they're more like teenagers. They cuddle when they want to, not when you want to. So, looks like we're getting ready. If you want me to pull a card for you later in the show, all you have to do is type in yes, please. I will call them in the order that they show up in the studio, which is different than the chat room. We just want to make sure you understand that we're not forgetting you. Give us time, because lots of times there's a lot of readings to do. If we get to the end and we're saying, did we miss anybody, then feel free to type it in again. But there's no need to comment more than once, because Neshi is on it, and she's making sure that as we go through, we get everybody. And my intention is to pull all the cards this week. I was able to last week, but most of you know that I am still recovering. So if I start to feel run down or exhausted, I'm going to pull the plug on the evening. And if Neshi gets an inkling, because she's keeping an eye on me, she's going to give me the time to be done signal. She's giving me the look. She will give me the done signal, because lots of times you get into the channel mode and you're not really totally feeling what your physical body is going through, but it's very clear visually if you know what you're looking for. So I put her in charge of that, and we'll get this ball rolling. So I'm really glad to see some lovely people in the house this evening. So let's start with our healing. So to do that, we need to get grounded. I don't know about you guys, but grounding has been this whole new adventure. My practice used to be I would ground in the morning and I was good for the day. Lately, I'm noticing that I'm needing to ground, 3-4 times a day, because something will come up and it'll shift and it's time for me to do it again. So let's start getting grounded. So take a couple of deep breaths and let's just connect with our physical body and give it some loving attention, noticing our breath going in and out, feeling our heartbeat. Make sure you're comfortable. So, let your belly hang out. Nobody's looking, and allow your shoulders to relax. And if you need to stretch your neck or your back or anything, do that, because we want you to be as present as possible. And we're going to start by inviting Grandmother Earth to connect her energy with ours, and ask her to bring her energy up to connect with our feet, with our legs, with our root chakra. And as her energy comes up, it just anchors us and allows us to feel held, nurtured. And for those of you who watched Neshi's card draw earlier, who was in the direct but Mother Earth, right? So if we're going to connect to our inner flame, our inner spirit, we need to do it by being anchored and connected with her. So let's allow that to happen. And we're going to ground each chakra because it's been a little wobbly lately. So we're going to start with our root chakra down by our tailbone. And we're going to invite that to connect through our legs and our feet, all the way down through all the layers of the earth, all the way to the very center. And you can imagine an anchor being created there, or it weaving together with Grandmother Earth's connection with us, making that even sturdier. And just really allow the muscles in your legs to relax. And if you're not sure, you can squeeze them really, really tight for a moment. And then take a deep breath and let go. And see if that helps. And now connecting with your second chakra, right below the belly button, and inviting that to connect to your first chakra, and then all the way down into the center of the earth. Through your legs, through your feet, through the floor, the foundation, and through all the layers of the earth. And you're going to hear me make some clearing noises as we get back in our body. And now we're going to connect with our third chakra, right below our rib cage and our solar plexus. That beautiful yellow. And invite that chakra to connect to our sacral chakra and our root, and all the way down through the layers of the earth. And now connecting our heart chakra And even our high heart, if you can feel the two energies separate, I welcome both heart chakras, our soul chakra and our heart, to connect together, as well as through our solar plexus, our sacral, and our root chakras, anchoring us all the way down to the center of the earth. And now connecting our throat chakra with our heart, our solar plexus, our sacral, our root, all the way down. So just notice 5 strands of connection that you have sent down, as well as the one very thick one coming up from Grandmother Earth. And anchoring our 6th chakra in our forehead to our throat, our heart, our solar plexus, our sacral, our root, and down through the layers of the earth. And finally, connecting our crown chakra, because even our crown chakra can help us from above to connect to below. So calling the crown to connect to our third eye, to our throat, our heart, our solar plexus, our sacral, our root, and all the way down through all the layers of the earth. And asking the divine energy that we connect with and the way we connect to come in, and asking the divine to surround and protect us in a bubble of infinite love and infinite light. And maybe that bubble is around us personally. Maybe it's around the room that we are in or the space that we are inhabiting. And we set the intention that all healing will be for the good of all and harm to none, including ourselves. And with that, we invite in our spiritual team, the angels, our guides, our ancestors, the star beings, our animals, mystical creatures, the Star Council, the Great Council, all divine of the highest, fullest, and brightest vibration available to us in this moment. And we begin by inviting the healing energy of the divine to come in and begin to wash away any energy that no longer serves us, any energy that we picked up from other people or from the planet. Because many of us are here to help clear the planet. We don't even realize we've held on to energy that isn't ours, right? So as the divine energy begins to wash through, we're letting all of that go. For this is sacred space for us to be in our own energy, reconnecting with our own true self. And as it begins to come in and clear our third eye, it's just expanding our intuitive gifts, our senses, and how we feel and interpret them, opening us to see problems and people and situations with more clarity. And really inviting our energy to be seen fully as our authentic self. And to open our ears and our channels of communication so we can hear and experience and receive the messages from our team. Remembering that those messages sometimes come through other people as well. And opening the throat so that we can speak and be our authentic truth. Releasing any limiting beliefs that have been holding us back. Any secret or lie energy that we've held on to here that blocks our creative expression. Expanding the energy of integrity. Within us and around us. Releasing the tension in the back of the neck. It's been causing headaches for many of you. And that tension often blocks our receiving divine information. When we squeeze our energy system so that the flow of inspiration has difficulty coming through. And opening all those channels and gateways so that we are open to infinite possibilities. And moving down through the throat and the shoulders and beginning to release all the burdens and the responsibilities we've been carrying. Knowing that we can pick them up as soon as we're done, but this moment right now is for you. So all that you're responsible for is you and your own breath. That's it. And feel the weight of that releasing. Then moving into the heart and making space for any held energy to gently dissolve, whether it's sadness and grief, or it's disappointment and shame. Any energy that is blocking us from loving ourselves fully, completely, and unconditionally. And as we breathe that energy into the heart and allowing it to fill our lungs with the divine oxygen, the divine breath of creation, connecting with our inner child, making sure that our inner child feels safe, loved, and nurtured, so that we can have room to have joy and wonder and excitement in our being, in our lives. And moving down and connecting to that inner adult, that part of us that's so responsible for all of the doing. And sometimes it gets caught in the doing and moves into overwhelm. And so giving the adult a well-deserved break, some time for quiet and peace with no doing, just being. And moving over and connecting to our inner warrior, And again, especially with the energy on the planet, asking our warrior to take a deep breath and go to a peaceful place. There's no need to take action in this moment. We can release any righteous anger that we've been holding on to. And at right this minute, you're completely safe and taken care of. And connecting to your inner sage, the elder that you have carried with you each and every lifetime, that holds the wisdom and the knowledge from all of your lifetimes and has access to universal knowledge. That part that guides you when you stop and check in with your heart and see how your next best way to take action is. And in this space, feel the gratitude energy. Gratitude to your team for being with you, guiding you here tonight. Gratitude for all of the wonderful things around you and within you. Gratitude for Grandmother Earth loving and supporting us each and every day. And now moving into your third chakra in your solar plexus. And just noticing any ways that that inner flame, your inner fire, is getting squeezed. And when it's squeezed, it doesn't burn as brightly or as fully as it can. So what's blocking it? Is it fear? Is it anger? Is it frustration or stress, overwhelm or anxiety? Maybe it's resentment or judgment. Judgment of yourself, judgment of others. And making room for your desire and passion to get fueled by that beautiful flame of yours, so that you can move forward with intention and with your purpose. And gently sending healing to all those organs that work so hard, that have been detoxifying that physical body of yours, as it does every spring, releasing the old and making room for new. Just giving some gentle energy there. And moving down into your second chakra. And really opening and expanding the fullness of your feelings and all of that beautiful water energy. Giving you space to have full relationships with yourself and others. Having the ebb and flow. Restoring all of that energy to balance, the giving and the receiving. And moving down now into your first chakra, allowing that energy to anchor through your hips and down into the first chakra so that all of this beautiful clearing energy can anchor to your foundation. And clearing any last residue of energy where you feel unsettled, insecure, or maybe not completely safe. Giving you 2 firm feet to stand upon. And as the energy moves down your legs, allowing room for flexibility and adaptability in your life and circumstances, giving you space to laugh when things shift suddenly. Then moving it down through your calves and your shins and your ankles so that it can finally reach your feet and move down all of those beautiful cords of grounding that we connected, letting all of the stuck energy to begin to move and flow down. And as this stream of energy continues to let go, we also call in the earth energy to begin to fill in with fresh, new creation energy, to fill our energy up in all the nooks and crannies. And as it moves up our legs, really allow it to take a moment to fill your whole pelvic floor. Because that is the basin of creation, and we want that to be beautifully filled so that you can create the life that you desire. And you can call in the energy for your highest best. And as it moves up and supports your spine, feel that solid connection of being supported in all that you do and all that you are. And if you have any places where there's pain or tightness or discomfort, inviting the divine to send extra energy to that location, gently dissolving it, giving you just a moment of peace and tranquility. As it fills your rib cage and your organs, just allow your heart to expand in grace and in gratitude. And when we connect to those energies, we also connect to our high heart, which sends out universal love and allows us to receive that more fully and completely. Expands our compassion for ourselves and for others. And allowing that energy to move down those shoulders and arms into your hands, where they can be used for healing yourself and others. Allowing it to move up your throat, into the back of your skull, and up through your jaw, through your sinuses, your third eye, up to the top of your head, to this crown, and allow the energy to cascade over you. And as it does that, it begins to restore and repair and recharge your aura in all its layers. Remembering that the aura is a sphere. It is in front of us and behind us, on either side of us, above us and below us. And not just to the tops of our feet, but beneath the feet, a few feet underground. So making sure that the physical layer of the aura is repaired, as well as the emotional layer. And the mental layer, which has been difficult lately for a number of people. That's why we get spinning in those thoughts. And the spiritual layer. And even out through our karma and our past lives. And now take a moment of gratitude with your spiritual team for showing up and being present with you for this healing today. And sending healing energy to Grandmother Earth for all that she does for us. And when you send healing energy to Grandmother Earth, you can simply send it below you, or you can envision the earth or a globe. And as you do that, sending it to all the land and all the water in the fullest, brightest vibration. Now you can start to dissolve your meditation. And we'll pull some cards in a moment. All right. So here we go. I'm going to start with Vicky Foster. So Vicky, your card is Thank God. So you can see he's kneeling on the ground. There's a palm tree above him. And in the Thank God, it's that energy of gratitude. And we were talking about that yesterday on the show, right? And when we are able to say thank you for things, even if they're not present yet, sometimes when you say thank you ahead of time, right, it allows the energy to come quickly. So being thankful for the things that are going right in our life and shifting our focus away from the negativity. So lots of times crazy things can be going on in our life and we can get spinning in it really quickly, right? I had some spinny energy that wanted to happen last night. And so on my, as I am, driving home, and my inner part of me is like trying to create all this chaos, I'm like, I'm grateful for the green light that just allowed me to drive easily home. I'm grateful that the sun is still shining, even though it is almost 9 o'clock. I am grateful that the deer are out in the field. And I just said things that I was grateful for the whole rest of that ride home, which wasn't that far. It was about 3 miles, but 3 miles of gratitude, right? So by the time I pulled into my driveway, my breathing was back. That part that was trying to like distract me and spin me had quieted. And so what I'm feeling for you is that you have those times where the spinning energy gets in there, and the best way to quiet it is to start thanking God or the divine for what is beautiful and working in your life, right? And sometimes it's great to say things, I am grateful that this is, that this terrible thing happened because now I can shift my life and fix it. Does that make sense too? So we don't always have to be grateful for the positive things, I can be grateful when my cat's, whining and cranking at me because it's reminding me that they need to be on a schedule too, right? So that's what I'm hearing for you. All right, Andrew. Let's see. Still working on this new camera. So your card is Seek an Expert. This one always makes me laugh because it looks like Alice in Wonderland. And so when I see Seek an Expert, this is another thing that, Neshi was talking about, who's your spiritual teacher? Who's your mentor? Who do you get advice from? And when it says seek an expert, it's like, don't talk to your next door neighbor unless they are an expert, but ask those people whose wisdom you value, where they will give you wisdom, whether you want to hear it or not. I pay attention to whether I'm asking people who I know are going to say what they think I want them to say, or if I ask the people who I know may tell me something I don't want to hear. So right now, whatever's going on for you, it's time to ask somebody of a higher caliber. Who do you feel like you can turn to, who is an expert, who can give you some sound advice? Right? We don't take banking advice from the clerk at Dunkin' Donuts, right? Not really. Maybe you do, but I'm looking for an expert. So this is the same type of thing. But when it comes to our life and our spirituality, we often will ask whoever is in front of us. So time to upgrade. All right, Marie. So thank you for liking and sharing that. That's great. So let me see if I can get this. Here we go. So this one is invest in you. So see how there's 3 trees. There's like a new tree that's just getting planted, a tree that's still kind of young, and then there's one that's kind of like the wisdom tree. So what it's saying to me when I see invest in your spirit is you are the most valuable thing and the most valuable piece of your life. And so you deserve the best. And when it's saying invest in your spirit, it's like, what does your soul need right now? And whatever that is, find a way to make that happen. If your soul needs a break, then get yourself a vacation or get yourself a few days off or get yourself your own she shed or space where you can go and relax. And when you're in that space, nobody can bother you, because that's allowing you to reconnect with your spirit. And when we invest in ourselves and our quality of life, then we have more ability to walk in our purpose. We can't do it when we're depleted. We can't do it when we're giving all of our energy and our attention away to others. We need to fill up. And so it's time to plant that new seed, time to plant the new tree. Maybe it's time for a new spiritual practice. Maybe add something new that's your quality time with yourself. And people talk about self-care all the time, but I feel like it's an even bigger component than that. Like, if it's time for you to have an upgrade, do you need a new mentor? Do you need a new class to help you move forward in the next segment of your spiritual journey? That's the investment I'm hearing. All right, Jackie. So let's see. How are we doing? There we go. So reclaim your art. And, I've had people who are like, well, I'm not an artist. Well, we're all artists in our own way. And so how do you self-express? Maybe you are an artist. Maybe you paint or you draw. Maybe you sing. Maybe you dance. Maybe you play an instrument. Maybe it is something traditional in the arts. But maybe you like to make jewelry, or maybe you love to cook or to garden. Your artist energy that you have inside of you is longing to create something beautiful. And so when we get in that place, it's time for us to carve out time in our schedule where we get to do something that feeds our artist. And that is really super connected to our inner child. And so, do you remember back in childhood how excited you got over crayons or pencils or magic markers? And it could be, or chalk, right? I used to love sidewalk chalk, and go outside in the sunshine and draw things. And you didn't care that it was going to get washed away in the rain the next day. But it's, how do you like to create and bring that back? I have a beautiful friend who creates hats. And it's like such a lost art form. And so when she needs to kind of fill herself back up, she starts making these lovely hats for other people and for herself. And then you feel really good when you wear them because it has her artist energy. So time to bring that back, sweetie. All right. Michelle. Oh, this one cracks me up. I love her hat. So it's give yourself the best. Can you see it better now? Okay. So give yourself the best. She's got this crazy hat on that kind of is like the upside down version of that cake. Makes me think of, the outrageous outfits that used to be worn with all the big hoop skirts. They'd wear as much up top as they would on the bottom. So give yourself the best is give yourself permission to spoil yourself sometimes. It is not the energy on the planet anymore to make do. That has been that old, like, you save it for a rainy day, or, you put, 14 layers of duct tape on that car and you hope it's still going to run. I mean, that comes from a place where you're not fully believing that the divine will provide for you, right? So stop making do and give yourself the best. The thing that we like to say here in my house is you need the right tool for the right job. You're not going to use a hammer to repair a window, right? Well, you might if you want to break it, but you deserve the best. And that, whatever that is for you, then do that. I upgraded my studio. And why did it take me so long to put it together? Because I freak out about technology. And yet it took my son like less than an hour to put everything together. And I deserve it. And now I'm like, oh, well, I have it here. I should have a traveling set for when I travel because I don't want to take this one up and down. And that's not going to be a make do either. It's going to be something that is easy that I can do without having to freak out. And I'm sure now Neshie's all excited. She loves when I do technology for Star Nations. All right. So get yourself the best, whatever that is for you, do that. All right, Bobby. All right, so let me see. There, now we're out of the reflection. Drop it. From a giant balloon, apparently. So as we're moving up in our life, in our vibration, those old sandbags were weighing us down need to be released and let go. So if you feel your energy dragging, if you feel like something's holding you back, it is. And generally we need to look at what we're holding on to. And, you know, Sonia, who these cards are done by Sonia Choquette, she talks about, you know, traveling lightly. Because we're always dragging along these big suitcases full of stuff we don't need. So what can you drop? What can you let go of? What can you go, whew, I don't need that anymore? And lighten up your vibration by letting go of some of that stuff. And I really do see these heavy duty sandbags getting dropped from high places. Like, oh, here's another bag that can go. So have some fun with that. See how quickly you can create that. I like that. All right, Jacqueline, of course. So your card up. I want to keep it out of the, I'm like having issues with this one because it's blue. All right, I'm just going to have to deal. I'm sorry. There, somewhere in here it wants to be. So it's called Spread the Light. I hope you can at least see the little flowers that are along the bottom and whatnot. And so in the Spread the Light, it's saying that even if we feel like we only have this little light to shine, when we get together and do it as a group, it causes, you know, a big spotlight. So sometimes we feel like we can't do something big, but those little things that we can do, we don't even realize how much they help someone else. So like today, you know, I went and had lunch with a friend that I haven't had seen in a while. And we sat out on a deck, which was great because the weather was nice. And we had a brand new waitress who was anxious and nervous. And it was like, oh, sweetie, take your time, take a deep breath. We're not in a hurry. And as soon as we said we weren't in a hurry, she took a deep breath and she was like, oh, okay. What can I get you to drink? You know, and it was like, oh, with like water with lemon. Okay. All right. And it took all the pressure off of her and you could see her energy shift. And that was a way to spread the light, right? Because she was all nervous because she was brand new. And by us saying, just take your time, it took the pressure off and you could see the light in her brighten. And then she was great because she was no longer nervous and in her head. So you can spread light in a whole bunch of different ways. So take time to think about how can you get some love energy out there? How can you shine who you are? Share your gifts. And none of this has to be big. You know, it doesn't have to be this big deal or we tend to think too big is kind of what my team's saying. We always think we have to do this like hard, amazing, big thing. But sometimes it's like holding the door for an elder so that they can get through into the store easily. Like that can shift their day, right? Because, oh, there was this nice young person who held the door for me and it made it easier for me, right? That can be spreading the light. All right, Christine. Oh, there must be a theme going on here. Oh, that's as close, I think. This way. All right. I think that's pretty close. And I can't quite read it, but it says lend a hand. And so in the lend a hand, here they are on this bridge. It's this rickety bridge that's really high up. And in that rickety bridge, it's like, take your time, right? We're not in a rush. How can I help? Right? And so lending a hand does not mean saying yes to something that you mean no to. I'm hearing that really loudly. So I'm sure you do that from time to time. This is when you feel moved to offer some assistance to someone else, do so. This is not an obligation or anything like that. It's just that those little moments of being conscious that there are people around you and saying hello, and holding the door and putting a grocery cart away for somebody who's struggling, right? We can do those things without even thinking about it, but it is our way to contribute. And so that's what I'm seeing. It's just a gentle hand out to someone in need. Okay. This isn't like, oh no, I've got to go do this project. It's something really, really little, but significant for the person on the other end. All right, Jackie. All right, so this is see the light. And I love the kids flying. It reminds me of Peter Pan. And in see the light, it's focus on what is going on that's good and right around you. Focus on the light aspects. There's a lot of negativity that is happening right now on the planet, and people are complaining and focusing on the bad things or the injustice or, what's happening to the world. And then that's what they're creating, right? So instead, focusing on, the light aspects of, somebody being helpful, or watching, children outside playing, baseball in the summertime, and, the one out in the field who's doing cartwheels instead of paying attention, those kind of things. Like, see what things are beautiful and light and things that you can extend gratitude to, because we want to shift our focus into our heart energy. And as we do that, then our lives flow with ease and grace. And that all begins by focusing on the positive and the light energy rather than on the shadow and the dark. All right. Okay. Tabitha. This one's a fun card. So this one is get over yourself. And notice they're literally over themselves in the picture. And get over yourself is coming in when we're taking life too seriously. We're creating a lot of drama. We're thinking things are so huge and so big and so insurmountable. And this is to say, take a deep breath, look deep in the mirror, and just laugh. Laugh when we get like that. Laugh when we're like, we're just, I had a client who was in this space where they were spinning recently, and they were like, and this, and this, and this, and this. And I just started to like take these really big breaths with every time she was talking. I didn't say anything. She just kept going, and I would take the deep breath. And then she would look at me strangely and take a breath. And then she'd start talking again, and I would take a deep breath, right? And after a while, it took her probably 5 minutes. And then she went, oh, your breathing is helping me breathe, right? And I went, yeah, because you were really caught in the drama that your ego had created, and you needed to tell the story, but it was sucking the life out of you. So are you ready to get over it? And she went, yeah, because she was so invested in the story in that moment. And so when we're ready to get over it, we can kind of laugh at like, wow, I just spent 5 minutes spewing about that. And I thought about it for 20 minutes on my car ride over, and that just wasted 25 minutes, right? So have a good laugh when we do things that are just not quite in the light, or we're a little ego-y, because it happens to everybody, and let it go right away and find your way back. So I love that for you. I love that for all of us. Be good for all of us to get over it. All right, Cindy Lynn. Nice one. Have fun. There we go. So have fun. They're on the Ferris wheel. It's really bring that inner child out and see how you can play. This is great. The weather's getting beautiful. It's time to get back out there. You know, there's outdoor activities that are happening. There are fairs, or like craft fairs, or carnivals. There are rummage sales if you enjoy that. But get out and have some fun. Your inner child has been feeling a little, cramped up. Not a lot of room to stretch and run. I think about, the poor doggies when they have to stay inside and they don't get to run around and play and romp like they want to. They get whiny and tired and cranky, and it happens to us as people too. So how can you get your inner child out and play and just have some fun? And I really am seeing an outdoor activities for you, and games, or something like games. I mean, we are coming up on this holiday weekend. A lot of people have Monday off. Maybe you can have a picnic, or play Frisbee or something with friends, and just lighten your energy up and have some fun. All right, Christina. Nice one for you. Just sing. When we open our throat, whether we're talking or we're singing, we send out a vibration through our energy field. And as that sound vibrates, it begins to clear. And when we sing songs that we love, then we're sending love energy vibrating through our whole energy field. So this is just inviting you to just start singing. And, you always hear, don't care if anybody else can hear, or sing like nobody else is watching, whatever, this is like turn the radio up and sing in your car. Or I have a son who brings his Pandora into the bathroom when he takes a shower, and he's singing really loudly while he's showering. But it's such a joyful sound, that you don't really get angry. You're just like, we can all hear you, right? It's amplified. And he's like, yeah, but I love singing in the shower. Great, because it's part of his ritual, and I'm somebody who sings in the car all the time. And if I'm doing house cleaning or something that it's not my favorite thing, if I turn on the radio and sing and dance while I'm doing it, it goes faster and I enjoy it more. So it's like, open up that throat and get singing, because everybody's voice is worth hearing. Nice. All right, Tina, yours first. So yours is celebrate you. She's in this, old time gown. They're all in their wigs and they've got their masks. And in celebrating you, she's taking off her mask. Everybody else has their mask on. She's whipped hers off. She's ready to be seen. She wants everybody to know who she is. So it's time. So how can you celebrate you? How can you honor what an amazing person you are? And I had a coach one time who invited me to do little things to celebrate me. And one of those was to buy myself a card that I would love to receive, And so it was like, I not only bought a card, I mailed it to myself so that it arrived a few days later and I had forgotten I'd even sent it. And so opening it up and then reading, like I wrote a personal note to myself, and it reminded me to be back in the moment and to enjoy, things about myself. And maybe it's, you celebrate you by, taking a tubby in your favorite scents. Or maybe it's bake yourself a cake with candles and say, hey, I'm celebrating me today. But take that time, because, it doesn't have to be your birthday to celebrate you. You are worth more than one day a year. How's that? We all are. All right, Ashley. So Ashley, your card is Turn on the Light. And Turn on the Light is a card that's saying you have this beautiful light within you. Let it shine. And, I think what I'm seeing with Spirit is that, you've been shining it, but you had it on the dimmer switch. So it's time to kind of crank up your light and really put Ashley out there in a bigger way. Allow people to see you and allow your gifts to shine, because you have some beautiful gifts that you've been kind of hiding a little bit. I started seeing you being a little shy about sharing them. So it's time for us. Hey, I got that cosmic 2x4 a number of years ago. No more being shy with your spiritual gifts. There's somebody out there who needs to see your light. So it's time for you to shine it just a little brighter. And remember that when we do that, you might be the sunrise to someone. They've been in darkness and all of a sudden the light comes in the room and it's just you being you. All right. Woo, we'll have to check that later. All right. Yay, Carol. You really should come up and take class with me in June when I'm at Neshi's, because you could come stay with me. You could bunk with me. No pressure. So your card is Call Your Spirit Home. So it literally looks like a spirit home, like a ghost home. It's like clouds and you're inside it. And when it's time to call our spirit home, it usually means that we've gotten a little ungrounded. We've gotten a little focused on what everybody else needs. And it's like, woohoo, time to focus on me. Can you come back here? Because this house needs some filling up. So it's just saying, it's time for you to focus on you a little bit. And how can you bring your personal spirit more into your house? How can the house and your living space feel more Carol? Because we go through times where, we keep things the same for a long time, or, I know that you lots of times love to have people over. So that makes your spirit shine when you get to share your home with others. So maybe it's time for a pool party if the weather's good enough, or have some friends over for dinner, or maybe just shift the room around, rearrange it, and decorate it in a new Carol kind of way. Freshen it up, give it some of your flavor. All right. Lindsay, thank you. Thank you. I am feeling much better. Nice card for you. So this card is, I'm sort of in between right there. You are safe. And there's sort of like these vultures flying over. And this, poor little butterfly is like hanging out under the flower going, don't eat me. So really this is reminding you, and you often kind of get a little spacey and ungrounded. And when you get ungrounded, right, all of a sudden you don't necessarily feel safe. So take a deep breath and remember that you're safe. And anytime you feel anxious, because that's what they're showing me, is like anxious is usually the sign that you're heading into an energy where you don't feel safe. Remember to ground your energy. And I was saying at the beginning of the show that it's been especially difficult to stay grounded in the energy. So sometimes you've got to do it a few times a day. And maybe you need to put on some essential oils to help with that process. But you are safe and you are in control of your life and your destiny. So take a deep breath and know that you are loved and supported. All right, my dear. Mimi. Oh, welcome to the show. Of course you can have a card. Yours is keep dancing. Woohoo! They're out and they're dancing away together by the water, on the beach, in the moonlight. So the keep dancing, when this one comes up, Mimi, it means that, you know, as we move through our life, sometimes we like walk our path and we kind of trudge through our day and trudge through our life where, you know, I'm seeing sort of your feet sliding on the ground and this heavy feeling of like, oh, I got to go to work and I got to do this again. So the way to shift the energy of that is to imagine dancing your way through your life. And, you know, sometimes we physically dance it, but sometimes it's just bringing light energy and the ability to laugh and joke. And when we do that, you know, it's like we can dance around, oh, here's an obstacle. Great, but I'm going to dance around it and I'm going to move past it. I don't have to stop and get all worked up over it. I can just keep moving and keep dancing. And there's a quote that I can't remember. But it has to do with, you know, you may feel like you're taking, you know, 2 steps forward and 1 step back, and just imagine you're doing the cha-cha, and that's exactly how you're supposed to do it. Cha-cha-cha. All right. Thanks for coming on, Mimi. Hope to see you again. All right, Rob. Oh, better late than never, right? So yours is a good one too. Fill the well. All these little ladies and all these little buckets. So fill the well is just what you're doing here, right? That energy that's going through sort of a heavy or depleted energy, or you're feeling tired or sluggish, it means you're running on empty. And when we're running on empty, we need to take a time out and stop giving our energy away to other people and do things that fill us up. And for you, I know a lot of that revolves around music. You know, start playing it, start singing it, you know, do it all the time. And do things that will also call in gratitude. Because when we're grateful for things, then we start to fill in our heart energy, and it makes it easier for us to move forward. You know, because a lot of us really got depleted over, you know, the end of winter, the beginning of spring, because we didn't have a lot of sunshine, so that we didn't have the sun filling us up. And maybe if you need some sunshine, you know, get yourself out there, even if it's sitting in your car and letting the sunlight come in. And, you know, if it's too windy or it's, you know, it can allow the sun to fill you. But I'm feeling like you're feeling a little like a raisin, like a grape that's kind of starting to shrivel into a raisin. So let's get that water energy back in there. Let's poof you back up and get that well flowing. Okay. All right. And this is a great card. Be courageous. She's her own warrior. She's in control. And when the courageous card comes up, it's not like, go out there and go to war type of thing. It's like, be brave enough to say the truth, even if somebody's going to have a hard time hearing it. Be brave enough to speak up for what you need. Be brave enough to say no when you really mean it. And sometimes when we do those things that are out of character for us, we have to get through this period of, we've got to call on our inner courage. I'm seeing this little lion, you have like a lion cub, it needs to grow into a full lion, right? And so just really call on all the ways that, Spirit is standing beside you, behind you, and really encouraging you to stand up for you and what you believe in. And when we do that, we don't have to be confrontational. We just need to speak our truth. And whether someone else, receives that well or not, that is on them, not on you. Because when we speak our heart's truth, that's all we're meant to do. And we can't worry about how other people receive it. So dig deep for that inner courage and start being brave about saying what you need, asking for it, and saying no when you mean no. All right. Ooh, it started ringing in that ear on that one. All right, Susan. You do this quite often. All right, let me see if I can get it to focus. There's certain colors that it has more trouble with. Oh, there we go. That's pretty close. So this is step away from the crowd. So it's not that you're the sheep left out. People are like, oh, I'm always left out. No, this is consciously going, I don't know what that herd is doing and why they're doing it, but I'm not following. Just because they're all headed off the bridge doesn't mean I'm going to. So there's times when we need to step away from that energy because it's not healthy for us. This is a great time for people to be stepping away from, excessive news watching and stepping away from our news feeds on our Facebook page, depending on our friend list. It may be time for you to kind of step away from the herd thinking and speaking that's going out in there, and really check in with what Susan needs and what Suze wants, which may be, I need alone time. And alone time doesn't mean that you're isolating. It can be, but alone time can just be you enjoying your own company. So look for ways that you can, be true to yourself. And if that means going against what the crowd is doing or how the crowd is doing, then go for it. Okay. Especially this week. I'm feeling like this is very important for this week for you. All right. Barbie. Nice. So this card, I'm trying to figure out the right way. I have a new camera, so I'm like figuring out the new camera here. So this card is say yes. And sorry about the ring of light there. But the say yes, it's a couple. He's giving her flowers. I always think of an engagement. Say yes. But this is, I feel like the universe is bringing you an opportunity it's making my throat. Hold on one sec. Okay, so this one's going to be harder for you to hear. So you're having an opportunity that's coming up, being presented for you, and it's causing some inner turmoil. But usually when something is a little bit uncomfortable, it means we're stretching who we are and we're growing. And so by saying yes to this thing that's a little bit out of your comfort zone, it's not only good for you, but it's expanding your soul and your soul's expression of you. So often we've got to go through that discomfort place and that feeling of like, oh no. But when we have that, there's excitement underneath. And so it's inviting you to just take a deep breath, take the leap, and say yes. Nice. All right, Christina. Nice. So your card is blow off some steam. And I'm seeing that quite literally. So before you implode or explode energetically onto somebody else, go release some of the stress, go release some of the anxiety, the tension, the anger, whatever is coming up, and get it out of your system. Go for a walk, go exercise, swing a bat, whatever is going to work for you. Sing in the car, scream in the car if you need to, but let some of that volcano energy go. Neshi was talking about the inner fire on her card read today, and I'm seeing yours kind of like pulling together and wanting to do like this huge volcano explosion. And you know that when we do those explosions, they're usually not pretty. They're usually not protective. And generally, we've got to go back and apologize afterwards. So you might want to blow off some steam first, because I think you're moving this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. So get some of that pent out energy gone before then, so that the move can happen easily and gracefully in the way that you want it to. All right, Rachel. Oh, sorry, Christina. Oh, for Rachel. Oh, I didn't read the whole card. Can I request a card for Rachel? Absolutely. So thank you for doing so. So the card is stick with it. This reminds me of Jack and the Beanstalk, right? You could look at the beanstalk and go, oh my gosh, that's so huge, I'm never going to get up there. Or you can get curious and just keep climbing. Knowing that what you're working for and what you're working towards is worth the reward in the end. It may feel like a never-ending task that is really, depleting your energy a little bit, but it's kind of like the slow and steady win the race. So even though you might want to jump ship and, do something different, it's not the time for that. It's the time for you to kind of stick with it. Just keep gently moving forward. Don't look down. Don't look back. Keep your eye on where you want to be heading and just keep stepping, and you will be perfect. Don't let that old fear. That's what happens when we look back or we look down. We call in fear that we don't even need. Because if we're just climbing without looking, it's one foot over the other, and it doesn't have any bearing. It's only when we look down or look behind us that we start to freak out. Okay? All right, Mary. Nice to see you. So your card is stop. And these are a bunch of penguins who are going to jump in the water, but there's a shark. So when I have this card come up for people, it means stop, look at your situation, look at your surroundings. Things may not be quite as they seem. You're going along with the herd, and all of a sudden you have this intuitive hit like, things don't feel right. It's because they're not. That something's lurking around underneath the waters, in the emotions, that's, coming out to bite you. So take a deep breath and give yourself permission to just stop and wait it out and see what happens, rather than plunging forward and keeping going. There are times when we just need to be patient and to be cautious. And this is one of those times. Sometimes we need to take a leap of faith, but not today. Today is all about listen to your intuition. It's telling you something's up for a reason. Wait it out and let it run its course. And then you can take some more action. All right. I think the next card is Karen. All right, Karen. Nice having you here. I love this card. So this card is, let's see, here we go. Connect with your soul family. So your soul family it's your tribe. It's those people who get you, who love you for you, who are really here to love and support you, who want the best for you and who fill you up, right? Who don't deplete your energy. They're here to be an ear, to listen when you need it. And so it's like, connect with them, get together with them, even if you're like calling them or Skyping them, if you can't see them in person. But sometimes we just need to be seen and heard by like-minded people who get us. We don't have to be fake. We can just be ourselves. And it's like, you need a little bit of that authentic time so that you can deal with the situations that you've been in recently. Because lots of times we've got to please other people and do what they want and what they need. So this is just time to connect with your tribe who just don't care and just take you for you. And that will just fill your energy up and put you in a nice, lovely space to handle what's coming next for you. All right, Lynn. No worries. There we go. So this is Rebel. Love the pink hair on the trike. Leather jacket, right? So we all have a little bit of rebel energy in us. And there are times that it's a really good thing. Like, you've been hearing the message all night. Like, don't go along with the herd just because everybody else is doing it. Step away, stop, listen to your own intuition. And you're being called to go, all right, you see it, and you need to be one of those people who goes, I'm not doing that. Well, everybody else is. Well, good for them, but I'm not going to do that. And that will give permission to some other people who didn't want to do it to find their own voice. Because when we call out our rebel, we usually are helping somebody else speak up for themselves as well. We're almost never just speaking up for ourselves by entering that rebel energy. We're often inviting other people to step into their truth too. And so go for it. And, pink hair and all, however you want to do it, go for it. All right, Julie, of course. So your card is Give More. So this is a squirrel sharing its pine cone that it found. I have never in my life seen a squirrel share with another squirrel. Just saying. They're pretty much hoarders. So this energy really is about, it's not saying that you don't give enough. It's that there are little ways that we can give more, share more. And I'm feeling like this is a mentoring thing. You standing in your power and sharing in a teaching role. Like there are people out there who want to learn like the tarot, for instance, they want to learn that. And you have a very unique way of expressing that and sharing that. And so is there a way to do like a mini introductory, here are 3 cards in the tarot deck and, this is what they mean so that people can start learning. And that's just you giving your time and sharing your expertise. And then it's also showing people that you are a mentor and a teacher that they can turn to. So the giving more is sort of like investing in you ahead of time. I go to expos and my team, we do free healings for people. It's not that the healings aren't worth a lot. They are, but sometimes people need to get over their fear of even experiencing energy healing. And so once they sit in the chair and there's no strings attached, it's showing them how to receive. And it's a big, big gift. And the reward comes back tenfold as the person giving and sharing the healing. So find out your way to share and give. Yeah, cool. Janet, nice to have you in the house. All right. Your card is say thank you. Yeah, that's a tough one. So the thank you card is coming in that, you have somebody who's been doing a lot to help you out, or who's been doing little things along the way. And, when we take people for granted when we don't say thank you. I'm feeling like it's a gratitude thing, because when we're grateful for people's assistance, or we're grateful for our life or what's going on, then we're in our heart energy. So to be in the heart energy, to be in abundance, to be in grace, we need to say thank you to people, to the universe, to the light, having green lights so that you can drive easily to where you're going, or say thank you for a great parking space, to the universe. It's because the more we say thank you, the more we receive things to be thankful for. So think of some ways that you can say thank you over the next few days. I'm feeling like over the weekend, you're going to have some wonderful opportunities to say thank you to different people and to your spiritual team. And that will strengthen your connection with them too. If you're saying thank you for your team, for bringing you words of wisdom or messages that you understand. All right. William. So William, yours is share your gifts. Seems like we switched to this theme. We tend to go in phases. So sharing your gifts is, we all have expertise. We all have things we're good at. We all have things we love. And, some people think, oh, gifts is only like psychic gifts or something like that. It's like, no, we all have talent in different ways. And so how can you share that with other people? And this again is, in this picture, they're sharing food, they made something and they're sharing it with somebody else, and it could be sharing a meal with somebody else. It could be sharing a ride with someone else, and having this great conversation on your way to an event. Or it could be, sharing your ear so that somebody else who's been having a hard time can have a moment to vent, right? That could be your gift. Listening is a really cool gift. So how can you share your gifts? And again, I just want to remind everybody, all the things that Spirit has been talking about, you sharing and you doing, and none of them involve money. They're all like your time and your energy and your presence. They don't have to cost you money. Does that make sense? You don't have to buy somebody a gift to say thank you. Just say it and feel it and mean it, and it can go a long way. All right, Ellen. Yes. So your card is say I'm sorry. Yeah, we're having this one this night. So say I'm sorry is own your mistakes. When you make them, own them and say you're sorry. We work at the school on not saying sorry when we don't mean it, right? So there's times as women we say, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, when we don't mean it. But then when we mean it, you hurt somebody's feelings, you didn't fulfill an obligation, you broke a promise, whatever it is, own up and say, I'm sorry, and it goes a long way. And one of the things that my team is really clear on is with I'm sorry, people don't want an excuse, right? Because that's just a story. That's trying to shift the energy away from the person's feelings maybe got hurt. And saying you're sorry, don't unvalidate what they were feeling or experiencing. Just be apologetic and, I didn't mean to create that, right? And so it's really powerful to say I'm sorry truthfully and with an open heart because we don't hear that very often. We get fake apologies a lot. So I don't know who or what situation that needs to occur in for you, but it's coming up in this week. It really feels like by the weekend, you'll kind of get that intuitive hit and go, oh, this is the one that I need to do it for. Okay. All right, Carol. I like this card, especially for me. Take a breather. Lay down. You've been working in the hay, harvesting, doing all this, and now it's time for you to just take a nap. So lots of times we work. Now she was talking earlier today about, we've gotten so good at multitasking, but sometimes we multitask too many tasks and we burn ourselves out. So this is saying you've been going like the Energizer Bunny. Time for you to take a little break. So give yourself some time off, give yourself, a reward, but this is about letting your energy calm down. So taking a breather is not like going to Disneyland and spending the day on rides. That may be fun for your inner child, but that is not a breather. A breather is a nap. It is reading a good book. It's sitting outside in nature or taking a walk, not a hike, just a walk. A breather shouldn't make you sweat. How about I put it that way? So just allow your body to decompress because you've been going, Energizer Bunny. So your body and your soul need a little bit of a break. All right. Christine. So your card is talk to God. And you can substitute in whatever word feels right for you, the divine, universe. But lots of times we only talk to our spiritual team. We only talk to the divine when we need something, right? Sometimes it's nice to have a spiritual conversation where you're just asking questions. And I love to do this exercise with automatic writing because I will write a question out that I've had and I wait and breathe until I feel the answer or sense the answer. And if I don't right away, then I might ask another question and I'll sleep on it. And usually the answer will come. But lots of times the answer pops right in if we allow it. And there's no better information than information that comes directly to you from your own soul. That's when you're in the highest frequency, and it's when you are the most open. And if you are willing to have a relationship and a friendship with the divine, a lot of magic can happen for you in your life if you take the time. And every good relationship needs communication, and communication can't be one-sided. So make sure as much as you talk, you listen. All right. Joanne. Yes, you made it. This is Neshi's favorite card right now. Detox. With all the green stuff in the glass. So detox really is that. And, detoxing can happen in your physical body. Like maybe you need to do one of the liver cleanses, like that's in the Star Nations magazine. Maybe it's more of an emotional detox or a mental detox. And those often can be things like, don't watch the TV for a few days and give yourself a little bit of break from the electronics. Because sometimes our nervous system goes into overload and we've got too much energy running through us. And so we need a breather. And so we can detox from that. We can detox from, people give up sugar for Lent, right? But then it's like, well, I'll give it up for Lent, but maybe you need to give it up for longer than that because it's wreaking havoc, or caffeine, or maybe the detoxing is, you need to take more time to meditate because your mind is spinning. So whatever it is, whether it's a physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual detox that you're needing right now, it's just saying that your body needs this, your aura needs this. And when we take the time, it improves our health and well-being in every way. No matter which way you decide to detox, you will have the benefits reverberate through your whole being. So find a way for you. All right, Rochelle. All right, we'll start with yours. This fits you. Just laugh. Jack in the Box and the kid clapping. I have a vision of you having one of those. So, laughter is the best medicine, right? And there are times when we just need to have fun and laugh. And, if people around you are grumpy Gus's, well then, watch a movie that's funny, or a TV show, or I love watching some of the oldies but goodies. I had Golden Girls on the other day. I forgot how funny that show was. And I was laughing out loud, and my son, who had never seen it, we were belly laughing. And it was like the best half hour of just letting go the day and just laughing. And when we do that, it's contagious. And you cannot be in depression energy when you're laughing. So it lightens your energy, it brightens your energy, and then it also makes it lighter and brighter for the people you come in contact with. So laugh in all the ways that you can. And, have fun at like the little foibles that happen in life too. Like, oh, isn't this great? I went to clean this up and there was this other thing I needed to clean up. And you just laugh about it. That would be great. So, and for Deb. So Deb's card, you are not afraid. David facing Goliath. So this is reminding you that when you're in your truth, you are strong. You can face anything, even if it feels insurmountable, even if it feels like there's this giant, that is coming to get you. When you are in your truth and sort of your authentic being, then you can tackle and handle anything coming your way. So don't let fear creep in on you, because that's not your true self. Your true self is not afraid. Your true self is fearless. It's courageous, and it's not going to get you in trouble. I keep hearing like you're worried about getting in trouble. So don't be afraid of that. Just be you. And that's when we're in our truth, we can face anything, and that's what you have. So Deb was the last card. So I want to remind people that I will be teaching at Star Nations in Toma, Wisconsin on June 14th to 16th. So if you want some personal healing time with me, working on something for your spiritual journey, we'd love to have you. There's still room. And, I do healing cards, whatever, oils, whatever the, spirit moves me on the weekend. We even had the healing table out with drums and everything the last time I was here. So who knows what magic's going to happen. So I'm just going to give Neshi her card, because she will love this. Let go and flow. Swing your way on the rainbow, my dear. She's swinging from the rainbow with this peace tie-dye shirt on. And it's like, when you're a kid and you're just swinging and swinging, and it's so exciting when the swing reaches the top and it kind of does that hiccup thing. Just let it go. And you know how to do that better than anyone I know. But I know even you have things in your life that come up that sometimes you got to take a deep breath and remember it's better to let go. And if you're in Massachusetts and want to join us here on Saturday for some magical wand making, and with the amazing artist Nancy Blyer, message me, because we still have a few spots left available for that class as well. And with that, you guys, tomorrow, you need to check out Maureen Mann for Angel Therapy. She'll be on at 4:00. I can't wait. I'm always interested what archangel energy she's connecting to and helping us work with. They've been very powerful shows. And Neshi's show, of course, the live card draw is, yes, she's still here on Thursday because she has Friday and Saturday off. I had to think about it. Hope you guys have a lovely rest of your week. I'll see you next week here at 7:00 on Soul Connections, or on Tuesdays at noon for chakra sessions, where we dive into more of the spiritual teaching as well as the healing. So with that, you guys have a great rest of your week.